The Montreal Canadiens lost to the Florida Panthers last night. The score was 5-2. That doesn't sound like a score to be proud of for Montreal, but it is. The Canadiens are decimated between COVID and injury. Montreal barely managed to put a team on the ice to face the nearly fully healthy Panthers. Montreal's squad consisted of 11 forwards and 5 defensemen, plus the 2 goalies. That's 18 players to start the game. It's not horrible if all 18 players were NHL veterans, but only a handful of the Habs on the ice last night were in the lineup on opening night last October. Last night's lineup consisted of AHL players called up to replace everyone out with COVID and the injured, and a handful of veterans, a shorthanded AHL team versus an NHL team, and a good one at that. The prospects for a Habs win weren't good. In my pregame show, I had said if these kids can keep the game close and not get blown out, then that would be as good as a win tonight. A good test for the kids, a good way to evaluate some of these prospects for management, to know what they've got, to see if these kids can handle the job without a lot of vets around, to see if they can still be competitive with such a young lineup. I think these kids answered with a strong, yes, we can. You can start the rebuild. You can start making trades. We're worthy. For Jeff Gordon, the 5-4 OT loss to Tampa Bay the other night and last night's loss to the Panthers had to be a good experience, believe it or not. He was able to see his team's young talent in an NHL setting under unfavorable circumstances with the odds heavily stacked against them, and he saw them perform. Did they win? No. But they fought. They played hard, and they stepped up and competed. Against Tampa Bay, they played a solid 60-minute game, and if not for some bad luck, would have gone at least to a shootout and possibly a win. Against the Panthers, the AHL caliber Sam Montembeault stopped 42 of 47 shots and kept this team in it for 2+ periods before the rails fully came off. In those first 2 periods, Montreal outplayed the Panthers and had a 2-1 lead at one point in the second period and had Florida on their heels a bit. Everyone played above their heads and came up 1 period short of an upset in Florida. Gordon and his crew must have liked what they saw. If they're on the fence about a rebuild, these games might help make the decision easier to make, knowing there are young guys in the pipeline ready to make the jump and eat up some ice time. Make it easier to decide to start moving out some veterans and make the initial changes a rebuilding team makes. In my opinion, Jeff Gordon was brought in to rebuild this team, not reset it or retool it. The 2022 NHL entry draft will take place in Montreal, and I'm sure Gordon would love to be making the first overall pick and would also like to make a couple more first-round picks as well. I would think players like Ben Sherratt, Jake Allen, Tyler Toffoli, Mike Hoffman, Jeff Petrie, and Brendan Gallagher would fetch a first-round pick either straight up one for one or in a package of some sort. And you got to think some or all of these vets are on the way out at some point between now and the trade deadline on March 21st, when demand from contending teams needing a little help to push them over the top will be enough to get Montreal what it wants: some first-round picks and some top prospects. Montreal will most certainly be sellers. They have to be sellers this season, and they have a pretty good inventory of talent that should be up for grabs, and I think even in demand. Now, Raphael Harvey-Pinard, Michael Pezzetta, Ryan Poehling, Cole Caulfield, Nick Suzuki, Lucas Vedimo, Jesse Alonen, Alex Romanov, Cale Clegg, Sami Niku, Corey Sheneman, and especially Sam Montembeault have impressed me these last few games with their grit and determination, physicality, second effort, handling the ice time, etc. To the point I feel the team is ready to start rebuilding around the young core that's already here and start moving this team forward to the ultimate goal of a 25th Stanley Cup. Once the new GM is in place, I think Montreal will make their decision on a rebuild and announce the decision to the fan base pretty quickly. I'm excited and looking forward to the changes coming, to watching what the new management team can rebuild my Habs into. A young, skilled, exciting group, growing, improving, and becoming winners right before our very eyes. I was lucky to have grown up in an era where I saw Montreal do some amazing things and have some of the best players ever to play the game. And I hope the team can get some of that greatness back again by developing the talent that's here right now and continuing to supply that talent regularly to the team and developing it from day one with the organization right up until their last day. To you, from failing hands, we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. Subscribe and ring that notifications bell, and hey, give a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hey, check out that video over there.